Both players showing that they have a very good game sense and sense of the map. Jaystar has already got both Vulture upgrades, and he's got his armory working on +1 before macroing up. So he's going for a more timing-based strategy based on some type of +1, I'm guessing. He's also getting his comstat up. And he doesn't have many forces on the ground right now. He's got just about 3 tanks and 2 vultures here. In the meantime, he's sending in more vultures to this bottom right expansion, but there is a cannon up there. He's going to get a few kills with these vultures, but I think they're about to go down. The Dragoons have forced him away, and he does have an observer, so he will be able to take down any spider mines, and these vultures all go down. So Sadist with a little bit of an ineffective harass, but he does know that the third base is there, so we'll have to see what he's planning to do here. He's only got 3 factories up right now. In the meantime, Jaystar has his natural fully running. He's getting gas at his natural, and his third base is pretty well saturated here.
Yeah, and it does look like Sadist is expanding to the top left position here. And interested to see exactly why that is in the position it is. But, anyways, Mine's laying down, so he is laying mines on the right here, so he's going to try to just know where his opponent is. Goon's coming in here, and I don't see an observer with this army. They need to be careful. Yes, observer is there. I was going to say he needs to be careful. He does have Reaver and Zealot, so he's going to try to put some pressure on, but actually a line of tanks up ahead, so I don't know if this is going to be the most effective push here from Jaystar. Jaystar knowing that, and it's going to choose to push back here. Zealot's going to flood over here, and so really just a macro game so far, from both players. Not too much aggression. We did see the early Reaver there from Jaystar, but really couldn't do anything with it. But actually brilliantly placed tanks on the outside of Sadist's natural expansion. Now going to try to, and this is what I'm saying, if Terran can control the middle, they can control the game. He is setting up a couple missile turrets, going to try to set up a barrier here, and yeah, so here, Jaystar does have a seizable army here. I think he could do some damage, but he needs High Templars. More gateways on the way, so he's really going to try to push off these 3 expansions. He needs to notice that expansion to the top, in the top left, though. And this is the thing. I liked earlier how Sadist sent vultures around the map as soon as Jaystar was expanding to the bottom right, and that's just to show you how good these players are. You'll often see pro gamers, they'll send their vultures out exactly when, because when they open up with a 1 fact into command center, they know exactly when their opponent is going to throw up their second expansion if they do the double extend, and that's exactly what happened. Unfortunately for him, the vultures were not able to get too many probe kills, but yeah, it's gonna take a minute. I don't feel any fights coming up. We do see Templar Archives and Arbiter's Tribunal spawning coming up in the bottom right corner, so we are going to see Arbiter, so things are going to start to get exciting very, very soon. One thing to note is the observer that has been sitting over Sadist's natural this whole time. Sadist really needs to clear this out, and because right now Jaystar is going to know exactly when his opponent's pushing out and going to be able to counter that. And as well, Jaystar is taking the right expansion, the 3 o'clock expansion, so this is really turning into a macro game. Vultures are going to see this expansion, I feel, but going to be denied there. And yeah, so really, really heavy macro game so far, and I think it could easily come down to one big battle, and whoever wins that's going to win it all.
Yeah, just to cut you off right now, Sadist has dropped 3 vultures into Jaystar's main. He's cleared out all the probes. The probes had to leave that main to the natural, and he got quite a few kills with them. I don't think Jaystar was prepared for that. He's forced to bring a number of Dragoons back here just to thwart that. Looks like Sadist taking advantage of their close positions and able to drop the main. So that is going to do a good amount of economic damage, and he's sending some vultures now to the bottom right here. He's going to be able to spot this Arbiter tech. There are Arbiters warping in from those 2 Stargates. Over at 3 o'clock, Jaystar has already expanded, taken his 4th base, and the 3rd base of Sadist is well online at the top left. So looks like he is macroing up. He's got a sizable number of tanks defending that. He's putting up his, I believe, 7th factory right now. And looks like more vultures coming in to harass, but they've been deflected by some Dragoons. And so they're just going to probably plant some mines and then get out of there. And Jaystar is clearing some more mines. He's Maynarding probes right now to 3 o'clock. I think those are going to be pretty safe. He's moving in with his shuttle and a sizable number of Dragoons to take the middle of the map here. He's got observers outside of Sadist's army, and Sadist is continuing to rally some tanks over to that position. And so it looks like this 3 o'clock base is going to be well defended. Arbiters are on their way, as I said. And right now, I think these arbiters are going to be the story of the game to see what Jaystar can get done with these, if he can pull off some cool stasis or recalls. It doesn't seem like Sadist is going to be moving out anytime soon, but he might just be waiting for some type of weapons upgrade, or he might get some science vessels. He's putting up quite a few number of factories. He's putting up, let's see here. He's putting up his 8th and 9th factories, and he's taking the island over at the top right. I don't think Jaystar is going to be able to find that here. Jaystar taking his 5th base above 3 o'clock, so he's got the natural and main of that position, and it looks like +2 has just finished for Sadist, and he is going to be moving out to take the middle of the map here.
Yeah, I was going to lay some mines down. Sorry for missing that dropship. I am doing the commentating while recording the screen, so it can be quite difficult. But yes, this expansion right here is really going to help seal the deal. The 3 o'clock expansion, I mean, not seal the deal, I don't mean that. I mean the macro game. Really, though, the Terran is comfortable. He has his main as natural and 2 more expansions, while the Protoss has his main and natural and 1, 2, 3 more. So exactly what Jaystar is in a great situation. He is 1 expansion ahead, exactly where he wants to be. And yeah, just sorry for the clicking. I did actually miss that drop. I missed like most of it. I'm trying to do both. It is difficult. It will get better over time. But anyways, I do like the idea of the top right expansion, although we do see idle SCVs up there. That's an expansion less likely to be scouted. He's not going to bother taking the island in the bottom left because it could too easily be owned, basically, by Jaystar here. Mine's actually laying out the goons in the middle of the map. Jaystar's going to come in here with Arbiters, and now he's going to push back. He does have high Templars, a lot of high Templars, so with appropriate storms, he could do this, but really, siege tanks all over the map. His tanks are not completely... They're a little clumped up, but pretty decently spread apart, and that's exactly what you want to do. You don't want to let the Protoss army just march over you. It does still look like he is pumping Arbiters, so really Jaystar needs to keep these, or not Jaystar, excuse me, having a problem with these names. Sadist, he needs to keep the Arbiter count low, or else, I mean, all the 200 at 200 food count is going to be cloaked, and he's going to have a hard time with this. Coming in here, going to lay out these mines, so Sadist push is getting just slowly making his way to the door, and he needs to do something about it. In the 3 o'clock position, he is actually getting a lot of vultures coming in here. There is only 1 cannon, but this 1 cannon could possibly be enough to defend it. Not if the vultures target it. The vultures do look like they're targeting it. Big battle going on in the middle, though. Jaystar coming in here. He needs to land stasis. Beautiful stasis so far. More reinforcements coming from the left. A prong attack here. 2-prong attack. Dropping the Reaver. Loses it to the missile turrets. Shuttle goes down, losing all the things. Storms going off everywhere. Beautiful. Well done by Jaystar. Jaystar's going to win this battle, but this is not it. He's having to scan, so hopefully he has more scanners on the way, storming every tank. Jaystar in a great situation here. He is losing the majority of his army, but he can easily reinforce his army. He needs to have more gateways, and I think he does. He does actually have a lot of gateways. This is a beautiful stasis field, going to be able to lay out the rest of these tanks. Archon. PvT Archons are not so common, really not that useful, but anyways, he does have a load of gateways at the bottom right, so he does have gateways to reinforce his army very quickly, and now he's going to try to surround these tanks. These tanks do come on stasis, and they're all going to fall, so really nicely done there by Jaystar, and now it's up to Sadist to try to keep his tank count low. He needs to get science vessels out on the field and land some key EMPs, or Jaystar is going to stasis his way to victory, excuse me.
Wow, what a battle right there. Jaystar throwing everything but the kitchen sink at Sadist, and some very nice stasises, taking 5 tanks in that stasis, and there's still 3 that are frozen right now. Looks like Sadist still has that dropship from earlier on, and he's about mined out